The key to human elegance is controlling emotions and not attacking others with one's words. Always remember that deep waters run slow. A wise person speaks little. And those who are truly educated always remain humble without boasting. Those who truly possess wealth always live simply without seeking ostentation. Meanwhile, those with intelligence always know to keep silent and speak just enough when necessary. Speaking is a unique ability that distinguishes humans from animals. However, some people use this ability to utter insults, swear words, and vulgarities that can hurt. Sometimes, the damage is even more severe than physical injuries. Reckless words can cut like a sword, but the tongue of the wise is healing. Therefore, learning to eat, speak, and lacking in either, one cannot be considered complete. Communication always prioritizes quality over quantity or form. There's a Chinese saying, if roaring solved anything, donkeys would rule the world. Occasionally, we find it hard to resist the urge to attack someone, and when treated unfairly, feel justified in punishing the offender with harsh words, whether in their presence or behind their back. However, the ancients taught us that the more words, the less the truth, but those who control their tongue are truly wise. Therefore, both in life and society, we must always control our emotions and speak gently. This is how to build a good first impression in the eyes of others. Silence is a language flower, scentless but possessing a refined beauty. This flower reveals its majestic beauty fully if you know how to bloom it at the right moment. And now there are 8 times when being silent shows wisdom. 1. If you cannot verify the information you have. In the bustling tapestry of our lives, where words often fly faster than thoughts, there's profound wisdom in choosing silence, especially in moments brimming with uncertainty or sensitivity. This is where the timeless philosophy of Stoicism illuminates a path not just of restraint, but of discernment and respect. It teaches us that the true essence of communication isn't merely in the abundance of words spoken, but in the depth and authenticity of the ones we choose to share. Consider this scenario. You're about to delve into a matter that treads closely to someone's life or dignity, or perhaps you're on the cusp of sharing information that hasn't fully been verified. It's precisely in these moments that the Stoic principle of cautious speech becomes not just relevant, but imperative. Marcus Aurelius, a Stoic philosopher and Roman emperor, once said, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself but to your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke at any moment." This quote invites us to pause and reflect on the weight of our words and the impact they carry, reminding us that the power of speech lies not only in the ability to express, but also in the wisdom to withhold. The primary objective of engaging in conversation is to exchange information that's both meaningful and reliable. Every individual seeks to be enlightened through their interactions, hoping to glean truth and understanding from the discourse. In recognizing the pivotal role of communication, one must exercise deliberate caution in ensuring the accuracy and integrity of the information being exchanged. It's in the moments of choosing silence over speculation that trust in communication is both built and preserved. Before you speak, especially when broaching topics of sensitivity or matters implicating the honor and lives of others, pause and ask yourself, do I hold the complete picture? Am I certain of the facts? The Stoics urge us to speak only when we've armed ourselves with knowledge and clarity, for in the realm of conversation, precision is both a form of respect and a bulwark against misunderstanding. But how does one navigate these waters in daily life? How do we discern the right moment to speak and the right time to embrace silence? Let's engage in a thought experiment. Imagine you're about to share something you've heard, information that could influence perceptions or decisions. The Stoic approach would not only urge you to verify the information, but to ponder the necessity of sharing it. Is it beneficial? Is it kind? Is it true? These questions are not just filters, they are the very pillars upon which the edifice of meaningful communication rests. In urging us to embrace silence in situations where we cannot verify the information, Stoicism invites us to a higher standard of interaction. It's a call to elevate our conversations, ensuring that when we do speak, our words are not just heard, but valued and respected. This philosophy doesn't advocate for silence as a permanent state, but champions it as a strategic pause, a moment to gather thoughts, verify facts, and reflect on the impact of our words. As we journey together in this exploration of Stoic principles, I invite you to ponder the power of silence in your own lives. Have you experienced moments where silence proved more eloquent than speech? How has the careful consideration of your words affected your relationships and interactions? Your insights and reflections enrich our community, shedding light on the myriad ways in which Stoicism's ancient wisdom continues to guide us in the modern hustle. 2. When your words could wound another's heart. In heated debates tending towards aggression, a smart person would choose silence, holding back all the emotions about to erupt, and the desire to win at all costs is how you avoid hurting others. Be honest with yourself. We are always aware to some extent of the potential harm our words could cause. Thus, choosing silence is to refuse to harm others. Epictetus, who counsels, "Don't explain your philosophy, embody it." In the heat of debates teetering on the edge of aggression, the choice to embrace silence is a testament to one's strength and a reflection of a deep understanding of the power of words. The wisdom to withhold words, especially when emotions surge like tidal waves threatening to break the dams of restraint, is not merely an act of self-control, but a profound expression of respect towards the other. It is an acknowledgement of the weight words carry and their potential to leave scars on the hearts and minds of others. There's an inherent knowledge, a whisper within, that signals the potential harm our words can unleash. Opting for silence, therefore, isn't an act of cowardice, but a deliberate choice to protect, to shield both oneself and the other from the sharp edges of hastily spoken words. This decision stems from an understanding that the aftermath of unkind words is often regret and the erosion of relationships that could have otherwise flourished. When you're worried that your silence might make you appear weak, you can put that concern aside, because only the strong can restrain themselves in such difficult situations. This strength is not born out of passivity, but from a place of profound courage and self-awareness. It is the embodiment of the principle that true power lies in restraint and in the understanding that not all battles are worth fighting, at least not with words that wound. The art of holding back, of choosing silence over speech, is not merely about preventing immediate harm, but about nurturing and preserving the relationships that enrich our lives. It is about creating a space where understanding can bloom in the absence of conflict, and respect is cultivated in the quiet moments between words. This approach to communication, grounded in the wisdom of Stoicism and the timeless insights of those who have navigated the complexities of human emotions, offers a beacon for modern life. As we traverse the landscape of our daily interactions, this principle invites us to pause and consider the impact of our words. It challenges us to ask ourselves whether what we are about to say will open the door to understanding and connection, or whether it will serve as a barrier. By choosing silence in moments when words could wound, we open ourselves to the possibility of deeper connections, to relationships built on the foundation of mutual respect and understanding. 3. When you feel the other person needs to be listened to. In our fast-paced, often overwhelming world, there's an art that's becoming increasingly rare: listening. Picture this scenario. You're in the middle of a bustling coffee shop, the aroma of freshly brewed coffee in the air, people typing away on their laptops or lost in books. You're sitting across from a friend who's had a challenging week. They start sharing their story, their frustrations, and their hopes. In this moment, do you choose to dive into the sea of your thoughts, waiting for your turn to speak, or do you anchor yourself in the present, giving them your undivided attention? Here lies a profound yet often overlooked truth. Sometimes it's better to stay silent and listen. Listening is not merely an act of hearing, but an expression of respect, an acknowledgement of the other person's worth and experiences. In an era where everyone seems to be in a rush, where conversations often feel like competitions rather than exchanges of thoughts, choosing to listen To really listen can feel like a revolutionary act. It's about embracing the silence that allows the other person's voice to be heard, about understanding rather than replying, about being present rather than merely physically there. This choice, to listen actively, signals to the other person that they matter, that their words have value, and that you're genuinely interested in what they have to say. But why is listening so powerful? Let's delve into a modern tale that might shed some light. Imagine a young entrepreneur, Alex, who's passionate about launching a startup. Alex attends a networking event, eager to pitch the idea to potential investors. However, instead of dominating the conversations with enthusiastic explanations of the startup, Alex decides to listen. By doing so, Alex learns about the investors' concerns, their interests, and what they're truly looking for in a startup to support. This act of listening enables Alex to tailor the pitch in a way that directly addresses the investors' needs and concerns, ultimately securing the much-needed funding. Through listening, Alex not only gained valuable insights but also built stronger, more meaningful relationships with the investors. This story exemplifies how listening can open doors, create opportunities, and foster connections that go beyond the superficial. Moreover, listening cultivates a space for growth for both the speaker and the listener. When you listen, you're exposed to perspectives different from your own, which can challenge your preconceptions and broaden your understanding of the world. It's a practice that nurtures empathy, encourages humility, and fosters a sense of community. Who would turn away from someone who offers their full attention and an open heart? So let me ask you, when was the last time you truly listened to someone without thinking about what you'd say next? When did you last offer someone the gift of your silence, your attention, your presence? It's a question worth pondering, for in the answer lies the key to deeper, more meaningful connections. In our journey through life, particularly in moments of discord or misunderstanding, the strength of our relationships often hinges on our ability to listen. It's a skill that doesn't shout but whispers, doesn't take but gives, and in its subtlety holds the power to transform. Listening is an act of kindness that can change the course of a conversation, and perhaps even a life. The next time you find yourself in a situation where words seem to fail, where the urge to speak overpowers the patience to listen, take a step back. Choose to listen. It's in these moments of silence that we often find the most profound connections, the deepest understandings, and the most valuable lessons. After all, in the symphony of human interaction, sometimes the most impactful note is the one that's not played. Let's cherish the art of listening, for it's in listening that we open ourselves to the vastness of others' experiences, enriching our lives and the lives of those around us in ways words alone cannot. 4. When you have nothing to say. In the daily lives where the clamor of digital notifications and the ceaseless chatter often drown out the tranquility of silence, we sometimes forget the profound power held within moments of quietude. It's within these moments that we're reminded of a simple yet transformative truth, beautifully articulated by the Stoic philosopher Epictetus. We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak. Have you ever found yourself in a conversation, groping for words, feeling the pressure to fill the air with dialogue, fearing that silence might usher in a wave of awkwardness? It's a common scenario, one that betrays our discomfort with silence and our misunderstanding of its value. But let's pause and reconsider. Imagine those moments when there's genuinely nothing pressing to say, no urgent information to exchange, and no need to orchestrate a cheerful ambiance with forced conversation. Why not bask in the company of another, embracing the silence as a shared experience? This quietude can often be a canvas upon which peace and serenity paint their strokes, allowing both individuals to simply be in each other's presence without the compulsion to speak. This silence, far from being a void, is filled with mutual understanding and acceptance. It signifies that the mere presence of each other is sufficient, a testament to the comfort and trust that has blossomed in the relationship. Such moments remind us that not every silence needs to be filled, nor every gap in conversation bridged with words. Furthermore, consider the times when another's silence is not a gap, but a space they're holding for themselves. It could be a moment of reflection, of internal dialogue, or simply a pause in the endless stream of thought. Epictetus's advice echoes profoundly here, reminding us that listening, truly listening, is not just about hearing words but also about understanding the unspoken. Respecting another's silence can be a form of support, an acknowledgement of their need to process thoughts or emotions privately. By choosing to stay silent alongside them, we offer a gift of patience and solidarity. It's a recognition that our presence, devoid of words but full of empathy and understanding, can be a powerful form of support. This shared silence becomes a sanctuary, a space of mutual respect and care where words are unnecessary, and the bonds of trust and companionship are reinforced. As we navigate through the myriad interactions of our lives, let us carry with us the wisdom of the Stoics, who understood the value of listening, of being present, and of embracing silence not as an awkward interlude, but as an opportunity for connection and reflection. In doing so, we open ourselves to deeper relationships, richer experiences, and a more profound understanding of the world around us and the people we share it with. So, I turn to you, dear listener, with a question that invites reflection and perhaps a conversation in the comments below. Have you ever experienced a moment where silence is spoken louder than words, where the absence of speech opened the door to deeper understanding or connection? How did it transform your perception of silence in your relationships and interactions? As we ponder this together, let us remember that silence, in its essence, is not empty, but full of potential. It is a canvas waiting for us to appreciate its value and the depth it can bring to our lives and relationships. In embracing silence, we embrace the opportunity to listen, to understand, and to connect in a world often too eager to speak and too reluctant to simply be. 5. Silence in the face of indecency. At any age, we can't avoid receiving rude, indecent words or even provocations and insults from others. In these situations, silence is the most powerful weapon you can use. Your silent attitude will be a strong, dignified, yet gentle enough response not to embarrass the other party while conveying your message. Silence is golden, a principle that rings particularly true when faced with indecency. The Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, you're not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." The sentiment perfectly encapsulates the essence of choosing silence in the face of vulgarity. It's a deliberate act of controlling what we can, our reactions, emotions, and the dignity with which we carry ourselves, rather than being swept away by the provocations of others. In such moments, silence is a shield, a barrier that dignifies our response and elevates us above the fray. When confronted with rudeness or insults, the instinctive reaction might be to retaliate, to match indecency with indignation. However, this often serves only to escalate the situation, leading to a cycle of negativity that benefits no one. Instead, by choosing silence, we adopt a posture of unassailable strength. This silent stance does not signify acceptance or agreement, but rather a principled decision to not allow the indecency of others to dictate our behavior. It's a form of response that's both strong and dignified, indicating a deep well of self-respect and a refusal to be dragged down to a level of disrespect. Moreover, this approach does not embarrass the other party, but instead leaves room for reflection on their part, potentially leading to a realization of the inappropriateness of their actions. It's a lesson in restraint and maturity, demonstrating that true power often lies not in the words we speak but in those we choose to leave unspoken. By remaining silent, we communicate volumes. We suggest that the words or actions directed at us are unworthy of a verbal response, that we are above petty squabbles, and that our peace and self-respect are not easily disturbed. In the realm of modern life, where social media and online interactions often amplify rudeness and indecency, the decision to embrace silence becomes even more poignant. It becomes a conscious choice to not engage in fruitless debates, or to be drawn into the quagmire of online altercations. Here, silence can be a form of self-preservation, maintaining one's mental and emotional well-being amidst the cacophony of the digital age. Furthermore, this principle of silence extends beyond personal interactions. It's applicable in various facets of life, from professional environments where disparaging remarks might fly, to social settings where gossip and slander are all too common. By choosing to stay silent, we set a standard for our interactions, fostering a culture of respect and dignity even in the face of disrespect. This ethos of silence in response to indecency is not about passivity or avoidance. It's a strategic, powerful stance that speaks to the character of the individual. It's about choosing battles wisely, about understanding that not every provocation deserves our energy. Legendary figures and leaders throughout history have exemplified this principle. From Mahatma Gandhi's peaceful resistance to Martin Luther King Jr.'s dignified fight against injustice, the power of a measured, silent response has been demonstrated time and again. These figures understood that silence, when used judiciously, can be a form of protest, a statement of dissent more powerful than words could ever be. So, embracing silence in the face of indecency is not just an act of restraint, but a profound strategy for navigating the complexities of human interactions. It's a testament to strength, dignity, and an unwavering commitment to maintaining one's composure and integrity in situations that seek to undermine it. As we move through the ebbs and flows of life, let us remember that sometimes the most powerful statement we can make is to say nothing at all. In the silence that follows, we find not weakness but an unshakable strength that defines our character and our approach to life's myriad challenges. 6. When you're trying to break a bad habit. Understanding and seeking ways to break a bad habit is precious. However, changing a habit isn't always easy. Our actions, often carved out of the bedrock of habit, are executed without a moment's hesitation, without the conscious oversight that could steer us in a new direction. This autopilot mode, while efficient in some contexts, becomes a formidable adversary when we set our sights on change. When embarking on this journey of transformation, we're invariably met with an inner resistance, a kind of psychological inertia that aims to keep us tethered to our old ways. It's here, in this battleground of the mind, that silence becomes our most potent weapon. By choosing silence, we grant ourselves the space to observe, to listen, and to reflect. It's a form of active engagement with our inner selves, a way to monitor the tumult of thoughts and emotions without getting swept away by them. This deliberate quietude, this purposeful withholding of speech, acts as a mirror, reflecting back to us the patterns we're so eager to change. It amplifies our focus, sharpens our resolve, and, most importantly, enhances the efficiency of our actions. But why is this silent reflection so critical in the face of habit change? Let's delve into a modern anecdote that sheds light on this question. Imagine a world where technology is omnipresent, a constant companion in our daily lives. Within this digital landscape, a habit as seemingly benign as the compulsive checking of our smartphones becomes a significant barrier to mindfulness and presence. A young professional, caught in the whirlwind of instant notifications and endless scrolling, decides to embark on a quest to reclaim their time and attention. The strategy? To institute periods of deliberate silence and disconnection from the digital world. This act of withdrawal is not a passive retreat but a strategic pause, allowing them to observe the automatic pull towards their device and to gradually diminish its hold over their actions and attention. This narrative isn't just a testament to the power of silence in breaking habits. It's a mirror reflecting our own struggles and triumphs in the face of change. It prompts us to ask, what habits are we allowing to govern our lives unconsciously? How might silence serve as a tool to unveil these patterns and foster a transformation within us? As we ponder these questions, let us remember that the journey towards change is not a solitary endeavor. It's a path we walk together, guided by the shared wisdom of those who have traversed it before us. Silence and quiet modification increase focus and efficiency in our actions, a reminder that in the stillness lies our strength, in the quiet, our clarity. So as we conclude this exploration of the pivotal role of silence in habit change, Let us carry forward a few key lessons. First, that silence is not merely the absence of sound, but a profound strategy for self-awareness and transformation. Second, that in the face of resistance, both internal and external, our silent reflection is a beacon, guiding us towards a deeper understanding of ourselves and our patterns. And lastly, that in this quietude, we find the focus and efficiency necessary to forge new paths, to break free from the chains of habit, and to step into a brighter, more intentional future. In embracing silence, we embrace the potential for change, for growth, and for a life lived with purpose and presence. Let this be the message we carry forward, a testament to the power of silence as a catalyst for transformation in our lives. 7. Silence is a wise investment of time. Instead of spending time chatting, focusing your mind and time on work and personal skill development is a more practical and intelligent choice. Idle talk consumes a large amount of your time and energy. Marcus Aurelius once mused, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it." In a world brimming with idle chatter, gossip, and the ceaseless cacophony of opinions, how often do we find ourselves caught in the web of words, spending our precious moments on conversations that leave us feeling more drained than enriched? Gossip, in particular, can become a kind of mental addiction, captivating us with its fleeting thrill, only to leave a void within, a lingering emptiness that echoes long after the conversation has faded. It's akin to junk food for the soul, momentarily satisfying but ultimately devoid of any real nourishment. But what if we chose differently? What if in those moments when the urge to speak grips us tightly, we paused and asked ourselves, what truly matters in life? Is it the transient satisfaction of being heard, or could there be greater value in using our time for self-improvement, for honing our skills, or simply for introspection? This isn't about cultivating silence for silence's sake, but rather recognizing when words serve purpose and when they merely fill the air. Seneca, another Stoic luminary, advises, "We should every night call ourselves to account. What infirmity have I mastered today? What passions opposed? What temptation resisted? What virtue acquired?" Imagine applying this introspection to our conversations, discerning not just what we say, but why we feel compelled to speak. Consider this an invitation to view silence not as an absence, but as a space. A space where creativity can blossom, where self-awareness can deepen, and where the mind can find clarity amidst chaos. In choosing silence, we're not shunning connection. Rather, we're deepening it, allowing ourselves to listen more attentively, to understand more deeply, and to connect more authentically. It's in this space that we can truly hear not just the words of others, but the voice of our own inner wisdom guiding us towards what matters most. But how, you might wonder, can we cultivate this practice of silence in our everyday lives? It begins with mindfulness, with being present in the moment and recognizing our impulses to speak. It's about asking ourselves, is what I'm about to say necessary, kind, or true? And sometimes it's about embracing the power of listening, of giving someone else the stage, and finding joy in the act of truly hearing them. So, dear listeners, as we tread this Stoic path together, I encourage you to reflect on the moments when silence could be your greatest teacher. When have you found wisdom in withholding words? How has silence shaped your understanding or brought clarity to your thoughts? Share your experiences with us and let's explore the myriad ways in which silence can enrich our lives. Let's remember that the journey through life, with its ebbs and flows, calls for both speech and silence. Each has its time, its place, and its purpose. And in the delicate balance between the two lies the art of living wisely, of navigating our days with the serene mind and resilient spirit that Stoicism teaches us. Silence, dear friends, is not merely the absence of sound. It's a profound presence, a vessel for growth, reflection, and profound connection to the world around us and to the depths within us. Let us embrace it, not just as a strategy, but as a way of being, a facet of our journey towards a life lived with intention, purpose, and profound wisdom. 8. When you find yourself wanting to speak ill of someone. Epictetus once said, We have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so that we can listen twice as much as we speak. This ancient adage serves not just as a reminder of the physical anatomy we bear, but as a metaphor for the balance we ought to maintain between our eagerness to speak and the wisdom to listen. Among the myriad moments in life, there are those when silence becomes not merely a choice, but a sanctuary. Consider the instance when the urge to speak ill of someone creeps into the conversation. Here, silence is not merely an act of withholding words, but a profound lesson in self-reflection and emotional maturity. To speak ill of another is to navigate the treacherous waters of judgment, often with a compass skewed by our biases, particularly towards those we hold in contempt. The Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius offers guidance in these moments, suggesting, whenever you are about to find fault with someone, ask yourself the following question: what fault of mine most nearly resembles the one I am about to criticize? This introspective stance invites us to consider our own imperfections before casting stones at others. The endeavor to malign another's character, whether they be a spouse, relative, friend, or colleague, might momentarily grant the illusion of triumph, yet it ultimately casts a shadow upon our own. As Benjamin Franklin aptly put it, remember not only to say the right thing in the right place, but far more difficult still, to leave unsaid the wrong thing at the tempting moment. The wisdom here lies not in the act of suppression, but in the discernment of understanding that true victory is found in the battles we choose not to fight. In navigating the complex web of human emotions and relationships, the resolve to maintain silence when tempted to speak ill requires overcoming personal animosities and prejudices. It is in the quietude of reflection where we can confront our negative emotions, understand them, and, if necessary, choose a path of constructive engagement. Engaging privately with the individual in question to share your views offers a bridge to understanding, built not on the pillars of criticism, but on the foundations of mutual respect and empathy. The essence of silence transcends the mere act of withholding words. It is a call to embrace silence as a tool for personal growth and relational harmony. It encourages us to wield our words with precision, understanding that their impact extends far beyond the immediate moment, resonating through the corridors of our relationships and reflecting back upon the very essence of our character. As we navigate the modern hustle, beset on all sides by the clamor of competing voices and the relentless pace of life, let us remember the power of silence. So, to the men who find themselves at the crossroads of contemplation and speech, remember that in silence, there is wisdom to be found. It is a compass by which we can navigate the stormy seas of conflict and misunderstanding, guiding us to the shores of compassion and understanding. In the end, our legacy will not be measured by the words we spoke in haste, but by the moments we chose silence, allowing our actions, our integrity, and our compassion to speak for us. As we conclude today's exploration on 8 situations where it's better to stay silent on the Stoic in Your Life channel, let's remember that silence, much like the Stoic virtues, is a powerful tool in cultivating personal growth and nurturing harmonious relationships. The journey towards mastering silence is challenging, requiring us to embrace discomfort, exercise patience, and, most importantly, learn to set aside our ego to truly listen and reflect upon the perspectives of others. Implementing this wisdom in our daily lives is no small feat, yet the rewards it brings are immeasurable. By choosing silence wisely, we not only foster emotional resilience, but also pave the way for a deeper understanding and connection with those around us. Now I encourage you to reflect on how you can apply these principles of silence in your life. Have you encountered situations where holding your tongue proved beneficial, or perhaps moments when, in hindsight, silence would have been the wiser choice? Share your experiences and insights in the comments below. Let's foster a community where learning from each other's journeys enriches our own path to personal growth and happiness. Remember, in the art of silence, every moment of restraint is a step towards wisdom,